It's practically become a Sunday ritual at this point. Republicans making the rounds on talk shows, embarrassing themselves as they twist logic into knots trying to defend Donald Trump's latest scandal or outburst. But J.D. Vance managed to take that to a whole new level this week. His interview went so off the rails that George Stephanopoulos actually cut him off live on air after Vance kept dodging questions about a major controversy engulfing the administration. We're going to unpack exactly what went down, and believe me, you'll want to see this. But before we dive into J.D.'s disastrous interview, make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you enjoy our coverage. It really helps the channel. Now let's rewind to his earlier appearance on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker, where he was grilled over a resurfaced clip that forced him to awkwardly distance himself from Donald Trump.
Okay, I do want to turn to the big news here back at home, the ongoing government shutdown. I want to play you a little bit of what President Trump had to say about shutdowns past when Barack Obama was president. Take a look.
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the President of the United States.
They're not going to be talking who the head of the House was, the head of the Senate. I really think the pressure is on the President.
If you were president, what would you do?
Well, very simply, you have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The President has to lead. You have to get the people in a room, and you have to get a deal.
Mr. Vice President, by President Trump's own calculus, the pressure is on him to get everyone into a room and get a deal, is it not?
Well, Kristen, I wouldn't focus on the political pressure to get a deal. We really don't care what the poll numbers say.
But what about what President Trump said?
What's good for the
What
American
about what
people.
Mr. Trump said, his own words?
Well, Kristen, the president was talking back then when Barack Obama was president about the political realities. We are focused now on the governing realities because we're in power and we're trying to make the American people's government work for the American people, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government.
Yeah.
We have to.
I'm sorry, J.D., but there's just no spinning your way out of this one. I understand you're trying, tossing around the usual political buzzwords and vague talking points to get through the interview, but everyone can see right through it. You've never liked being reminded of your own words, especially the ones that expose your double standards. And while you spent the day attacking the left and railing against so-called rhetoric, let's not forget what you once said. Back when Donald Trump was claiming a president should be blamed for a government shutdown, the same scenario he's facing now, you called him America's Hitler, a budding fascist, and even an opioid for the nation. Honestly, those words sound more fitting now than ever. So maybe don't criticize others for speaking out, JD, when you're the one who started that conversation. And when the tough questions came about corruption inside this administration, you completely crumbled, dodging, deflecting, and ultimately getting cut off live on air by George Stephanopoulos, who had clearly had enough.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law. I think it's really preposterous. I know Tom. I think that he's a good man. He gets death threats. He gets attacked. He gets constantly threatened by people because he has the audacity to want to enforce the country's immigration laws. I think that it would be a much more interesting story about why is it that Tom Homan, who is simply enforcing Americans' immigration laws, is getting constantly harassed and threatened to the point of death threats. That's a much more interesting question that I think journalists should focus on. We can agree to disagree on that question.
Well, wait, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe or done anything illegal, which is why he's working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it illegal to take a payment for doing services? The FBI has not prosecuted him. I've never seen any evidence that he's engaged in criminal wrongdoing. Nobody has accused Tom of violating a crime, even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You're focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Let's give credit where it's due. That was a textbook example of real journalism from George Stephanopoulos. That's exactly how every interviewer should respond when a guest refuses to answer directly and instead tries to flood the segment with empty talking points about Democrats, Biden, Hunter, or Burisma. When someone dodges, you don't let them control the narrative. You stop them, stay focused, and if they still won't answer, you end it. That's precisely what George did when he cut off J.D. Vance and wrapped the interview. What's almost hilarious is how JD's own team didn't seem to grasp how bad it looked. Carolyn Levitt even posted the clip online, trying to spin it as a win by saying George Stephanopoulos got so mad he ended the interview. But that doesn't make JD look strong. It shows he couldn't handle a basic question without hiding behind deflection. A journalist had to end the segment because the vice presidential candidate simply refused to be honest. J.D. Vance has shown over and over that he'll say whatever he needs to for political gain. No principle, no consistency, just ambition. So huge credit to George Stephanopoulos for standing firm. That's how journalism should be done. Call out lies, demand accountability, and shut down the spin. And today, J.D. Vance got a hard lesson in what happens when someone actually pushes back, all while he tried to defend Trump's political firings by blaming them on ideology.
Specifically, when it comes to what's happening within the health sector, CBS did confirm on Saturday that the Trump administration went and rescinded some of the layoffs of hundreds of CDC scientists who were mistakenly laid off on Friday and then told Saturday that's not the case. But some of them were involved with the federal measles response. Some of them were involved with the response on Ebola. How does a mistake like this happen? Did the White House even talk to the CDC?
Well, so two responses to that, Margaret. First of all, I want to assure the American people that the frontline healthcare workers, the people who monitor measles, Ebola, and other infectious diseases, those people are still on the job, and we're trying very hard to figure out how to ensure those people get a paycheck, of course, because we want them to be happy and healthy. We want them to be able to do their jobs well. But the second point, Margaret, is the government shutdown inevitably leads to some chaos. We are figuring out how to take money from some areas and give it to other areas. That chaos is because because Schumer and the far left Democrats shut down the government. We have to remember, Margaret, that the vast majority of Republicans, and to their great credit, a number of moderate Democrats have consistently voted to reopen the government. But if Chuck Schumer and the far left Senate Democrats are going to shut down the government, that is going to lead to some chaos. So you ask, how does this mistake happen? It happened because Chuck Schumer shut down the government, and we're trying to make sure that essential services still function in the face of that shutdown.
But that was a White House decision to lay off these individuals. You heard the president talking about that. That wasn't Chuck Schumer's decision. I understand your broader point on the negotiations, but the layoffs came from the president and the White House.
But my point is, Margaret, that we have to do layoffs because we have to preserve necessary resources to do the most critical things that the government does. And in that phase, you're going to have some chaos. You're going to lay off people, frankly, Margaret, that the White House doesn't want to lay off. We would like to reopen the government and ensure these essential services stay on. But unfortunately, in an environment where we're dealing with limited resources, where the government is shut down, we've got to move some things around. And in that moving things around, there is some chaos, there is some unpredictability, but we're trying to do everything that we can with the hand of cards that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have dealt us. That's our...
It's actually pretty simple to make a compelling case when the facts are on your side. And for us, they always are. That's why Democrats need to keep showing up, speaking clearly, and taking control of the conversation. Whether the topic is healthcare, trade, or the Epstein files, we have to stay vocal, challenge disinformation, and stand united in truth. And there's a perfect chance to do just that. No King's Day is coming up on October 18th. I know a lot of people have been feeling tired and frustrated lately, but coming together with others who share your values and your passion for defending democracy can be a real recharge. If you were part of the first one, I'm sure you'll be back. And if not, this is your opportunity to join in, connect, organize, and find strength in community. I'm truly thankful for this space we've built together. We'll keep moving forward side by side. If you want to support what we're doing, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.